another Gettin Real with Ashleydawn, and today I want to talk to you about something that I'm currently on my way to go do. And anytime that I get real, anytime that I do a video, I try to make it about something that I'm currently doing, going through, learning. I try to make it, what's the word? I don't know the word, but I try to make it as authentic and as real as I possibly can. And so right now I am on my way to Teen Challenge thrift store, and I'm not saying that to brag about it or anything. I'm just saying that one of the greatest things that I do for my personal health and therapy is to get rid of stuff. Sometimes it's emotional stuff I need to get rid of, but a lot of time it's physical stuff I need to get rid of. My daddy used to joke and say that I'm a hoarder, and as much as I used to get mad, I tend to be kind of a pack rat in that I'm very sentimental. And so if somebody does something for me, if they make something for me, it's very special to me. I've been a teacher professionally for 13 years, probably 20 some years non-professionally. I've been a nanny and a babysitter, and so I have cards and letters and pictures that children have colored for me, and you know, certain ones are really, really special to me, but I've held on to pretty much everything. I've held on to clothing that maybe was sentimental, maybe it was special, maybe something special happened in that clothing. I still have the outfit that I wore when I got baptized. I still have a lot of the clothes that I wore in high school. I still have some of the clothes I wore in middle school. I have baby clothes that my mom has saved. I just have a lot of stuff. And in this season in my life, I'm doing a massive declutter. I'm realizing the more stuff, physical, material stuff in my life, the more cluttered my mind is, the more cluttered my thoughts are. And so I am uncluttering my mind, and I am uncluttering my thoughts, and I am getting rid of everything that doesn't have a purpose in my life. Now, a lot of it for me is clothes and like stuff, just like stuff, like house decorations. I used to have my own place. Well, I don't anymore. And so a lot of that stuff is kind of just sat in boxes and storage. And so it's just time to get rid of it. I don't use it. I don't need it. And it's just time to get rid of it. And so I'm on my way. I have some stuff packed up in the back of my car. I've been making these trips weekly to Teen Challenge. And the reason I give to Teen Challenge instead of like a Goodwill or something like that is Teen Challenge works to help rehabilitate people struggling with addiction, all different kinds of addiction. It doesn't necessarily have to be drug addiction or alcohol addiction. It could be porn addiction. It could be any life-altering addiction that sets itself up in their life and means to destroy them. And I truly believe that anyone, if they want to, can be set free from anything that controls them. I'm a firm believer in the power and the presence of the Holy Spirit. I'm a firm believer that prayer works. I'm also a firm believer that if you want something bad enough, you will stop at nothing to get it. And so I really like Teen Challenge for that reason. I have a lot of friends that have went through the program and have completely been rehabilitated, that God has completely redeemed their story, their testimony, and He's using it for His glory. So I like to support them. For me, as Goodwill, as while I like shopping at Goodwill, all the money goes to a CEO. It goes to, you know, a person. It doesn't go to help lives in the way that Teen Challenge does. Yes, I know they help people with special needs and that's great, but I support other charities that help people with special needs. So for me, Teen Challenge. I also like Salvation Army. If you're wanting to donate stuff, I like donating to Salvation Army as well, because they also help people struggling with addiction. They help people struggling with loss of any kind. I know that when Hurricane Charlie ripped the roof off of our house and ruined all of our furniture, we didn't have anything to eat. Salvation Army came by every single day and fed us, and that was in 2004 or 2005. I can't remember. But I will say I really like Salvation Army as well. And so I'll donate to both of those, or abused women shelters, homeless shelters, etc. I don't encourage Goodwill donating. That's just me. You can donate wherever you want. But anyway, it's important to get rid of the junk in your life. It's important to get rid of the stuff in your life that's clogging your brain, that's clogging your thoughts. A cluttered closet, think about it. When you're getting ready, actually my closet's very cluttered, so I'm speaking from experience. When you're getting ready in the morning and you can't find anything to wear, right? Because it's just a mess. It's the same thing with your thoughts. When your thoughts are a stinking mess and you can't find anything, like you can't, my little thing messed up. You can't formulate your thoughts. It's overwhelming. So anyway, I'm going to drop this stuff off real quick. All done. Everything's dropped off. Whoop, whoop. And immediately, like, I just feel better. Like, that stuff is gone. And they can do whatever they want with it. If they want to sell it, they can sell it. If they want to give it away, they can give it away. If they want to trash it, they can trash it. I pretty much go through everything and make sure that nothing's, like, broken or nothing's, like, stained. Like, I'm not going to give stained clothing. For the most part, I don't really have stained clothing, though, because my mom is a magician and gets every stain that I've ever had out. Anyway, so back to the thing. Getting rid of stuff clears your mind. It's just magic. Like, have you ever wondered why it's so relaxing? I don't know if it's relaxing for you, but it's relaxing for me to be in a hotel. It's so relaxing. Like when I go on a writer retreat or when I go speak somewhere and the people that I'm speaking for, you know, get me a hotel and I'm sitting in the hotel, I look around and I can think really good. I can write really good. Why? Because there's no clutter. There's nothing to clutter your thoughts or your mind. It's just clean space. You only have what you need. You have a TV, which I don't even really use that, but you have, you know, a phone if you need to call downstairs. You have a charger if you need to charge your phone, or you have an appliance. You have a bathroom and you have a bed, and that's it. You don't have extra junk. So often we think we need all this extra stuff, okay? For instance, I love Disney World, and so I'd go to Disney all the time, and I'd have all the ears and all the backpacks and all the little magic bands, and then I'd have the little pins, and I just had all this Disney stuff. And I still like Disney, but I just don't want to have as much stuff as I had like in the past. And so I'm getting rid of a lot of it. And part of it, like for having all of this stuff, is it clogs your mind. Like I would get ready to go to Disney and I would just have so much stuff that I'd be like, well, I don't know what I'm going to wear. I don't know what kind of ears I'm going to wear. I don't know what kind of pins I'm going to wear. I don't know what color like magic band that goes on your bracelet that I was going to wear. And really, like, does any of that matter? No, it doesn't matter. None of that matters. And so I would have to like focus and be like, okay, Ashleydawn, what matters and what doesn't? Because honestly, there is so much stuff that doesn't matter that we think does until we realize it doesn't. So anyway, my Disney stuff. I thought that I needed all of those ears. I don't need all those ears. I haven't even worn half of them. I thought I needed all those pins. I don't need all those pins. I don't need most of what I have. I have too much. So I'm getting rid of it. And it's therapeutic. It's hard. It's difficult because you have to come to grips with the fact that, one, you spent money that you'll never get back, right? It's wasted. And so that's like overwhelming. And then if you're trying to sell it, like I used to do yard sales all the time, if you're trying to sell it, nobody's going to pay you what you paid for it. And chances of somebody valuing it as much as you valued it are rare. So unless you're just trying to, you know, get rid of it and maybe get a couple bucks, don't be trying to get what you paid for out of it, because that probably isn't going to happen. That's just what I've learned along the way. But anyway, so cleaning your closet, cleaning your space. And I have read and have listened to the KonMari method, KonMari, and I don't necessarily agree with everything that she says spiritually. I don't agree with everything. I don't think you need to talk to your stuff. That's just my personal opinion. But I do like that she says when somebody gives you a gift, it's already served its purpose. Because I used to feel so guilty when somebody would give me something, even if I didn't like it. And a lot of time, I'm just being honest, this is Getting Real with Ashleydawn, I'm just getting real. A lot of time, people would get me stuff that I didn't like. And then I'm stuck with this thing, you know, because I don't want to hurt this person's feelings for getting rid of it. And so I'm like trying to be nice and trying to be, you know, respectful. And I have all this stuff in my room and in my house that I don't even really like. Like, it doesn't match my style. It doesn't match my decor, but I have all this stuff. And so one thing that I have learned is that when you have so much, like when somebody gives you something, okay, say your whole entire house is yellow and I give you something that's purple. Well, guess what? It's not going to match your house. So you're going to have this one purple thing that's sticking out, and unless you really like purple, you're probably not going to like it. Well, is it really blessing you? Is it really serving your purpose? No, it's not. It's not serving your purpose. And so that's something that I've learned is if somebody gives you a gift, thank them, appreciate it. But if it's not your style, if you don't like it, don't feel bad for getting rid of it. One year, I dated this guy, and he was a really nice guy. His family was really nice. But his mom got me all this stuff that I didn't like. Like, it wasn't my style. I didn't really know her that well, and she didn't really know me that well. And so she just got me a bunch of stuff that I didn't like. And I remember looking at it and like trying to be nice and trying to be, you know, but I didn't like it. And so every time I would look at it in my room, I'd be like, ugh. So finally I got rid of it. And some people may say, oh, that's kind of mean. No, it's not mean. Looking at something you don't like every single day is mean to yourself. So why are you going to care more about others than you care about yourself? So anyway, if somebody gives you something and you don't like it, thank them for it, be polite, but you don't have to keep it. You can get rid of it. If somebody gives you an outfit or a piece of clothing that you don't like, you don't have to wear it. You can get rid of it. You can donate it. You don't have to wear it. Or maybe be nice, put it on, take a picture, send them the picture, and then get rid of it. That might be probably what I would do. And maybe it's because I'm getting older. Maybe it's because I just am getting to the point where I don't care about certain things. But like, I care more about how my life feels than somebody else's opinion of it. Does that make sense? Like, I care what I'm doing on a daily basis more than I care if that one person I see once a year is happy with me. Maybe it's because I'm getting older. Maybe it's just because I've been through a lot and I've just realized what matters and what doesn't. But if somebody's going to get mad at you because you don't keep a gift that they gave you, would they, you know, if the tables were turned, would they keep something that they didn't like? Now, granted, if somebody like hand makes you something or somebody gives you something that's like really precious and really valuable or something that they spent a lot of time on, maybe before getting rid of it, ask them if they'd like it back. I don't know. You can kind of gauge the situation. So I have one friend, her name's Karina, and she, her grandmother left her like all these clothes and all these things. And so she would make necklaces and she would make scarves and she had all these vintage clothes, and we were about the same size. And so I would buy clothes from her. And yes, I bought them, but still I would ask her, I'd be like, hey, you know, this obviously, this obviously meant something to you. This was your grandmother's. Would you like it back? Would you like to buy it back? You know, because before I sell it to somebody else, I don't know. I'm just like that. I was raised, you know, with lots and lots of respect. Thank you, Bobby and Michelle. So if it's something super special or super sentimental, like say somebody like handmade you a piece of pottery, well, don't just get rid of that. You know, if they spent time on something, I would maybe let them know like, hey, I'm changing the decor in my house and this doesn't really match anything and I don't want to get rid of it because it's really special, but would you like it back? That's kind of a nice way to deal with that. But I do encourage you, if you haven't decluttered in a long time, I encourage you spend some time decluttering. It will help your mind. It'll help your thoughts. It'll help you. It'll help against stress. Like, it will help you a ton. Declutter. Get rid of stuff that you don't need. That's what I'm doing right now. And honestly, the more that I do it, the better that I feel. Granted, I have a long long way to go because I have a lot of stuff. I have way too much stuff. And I have way too much clothes. I have way too much shoes. I have way too much. That's another thing. Here's another thing that I don't know if it's KonMari or it's another method, but they say to shop your closet and go around your house and look at all the stuff in your house and ask yourself, would you buy it again? Like, for instance, if I was getting ready and I looked at the shirt, would I buy it again? Oh, yes, I would. I love this shirt. It's one of my favorite shirts ever. These glasses, would I buy them again? Yes, I would. My pants, would I buy them again? Yes, I would. And if you come across anything that you would not buy again, like you would not purchase again, then you need to get rid of it because you don't really want it. You're just holding on to it because maybe you feel bad that you spent money on it. Maybe somebody gave it to you. Maybe, there's a sentimental reason, but would you buy it again? Do not let stuff take up space in your life that brings you anxiety, that steals your peace, that makes you uncomfortable. Don't do it. It's not worth it. I promise you it's not worth it. I am realizing the older that I get, I don't need as much stuff as I thought I did when I was younger. And no, I'm not necessarily a minimalist because that's just not my style, but I am realizing that you don't need much in life to be happy. You don't need much in life to do what God has created you to do. I'm just realizing that, do you need 50 pairs of cowboy boots? No, you probably don't. Do you need 12 pairs of flip-flops? No, you probably don't. Do you need, 100 pairs of jeans? No, you probably don't. Do you need 25 different cups? No, you probably don't. How much do you really need? Maybe do that. Maybe write a list. How much do you really need? And then look at all the excess. Maybe in the KonMari method, it goes through, go through all your stuff. Like, go through your books, all your books, and figure out which ones do you want to keep, which ones do you want to get rid of, which ones do you want to sell. Okay, now go through all your DVDs. Like, go through everything. And then it also says to put everything of that thing, in a pile or somewhere. Like, put it all in a certain place and then go through everything of that one kind. That has helped me because, all my shirts, if I take all my shirts and I put them in a big old pile and I go through all of them, I realize, wow, I've got 5 blue shirts, but I have 100 black shirts. Well, do I need 100 black shirts? No. So let me find my favorite black shirts out of these 100. Let me find my favorite insert thing here out of, these things. Does that make sense? You don't need as much as you think you do. I am realizing that I do not need as much as I think that I do. And it's kind of hard to realize that because as people, it's just in our nature to want. And so we just try to get as much as we possibly can. And we don't need everything. You can only wear 1 pair of shoes at a time. You can only wear 1 pair of glasses at a time. Have variety, but don't have so much variety that you can't get dressed in the morning because it's overwhelming to you. Have you ever went to a restaurant and the menu is so big and so overwhelming that you don't know what to order? I have. And sometimes I'm just could there just be 5 things for me to choose from? It would be easier to choose. Sometimes we need that in our life. Sometimes we make our life more complicated or more difficult because of all the clutter and all the stuff in our life. We need to declutter. We need to get rid of all this stuff. Maybe not all of it, but all the stuff that we don't need and that doesn't serve us and that we don't use. Are you serving your stuff or is your stuff serving you? I look at people, and this is no judgment if you're one of those people, but I look at people with storage units and they spend thousands and thousands of dollars, a year on a storage unit to hold stuff that they're not even using, that they're not even appreciating. And then one day they die, and then all that money was for nothing, and all that stuff, have you seen the storage wars where people auction off the different storage units? How sad is that? You have all this stuff And a lot of time, I like watching that show, but a lot of time it's junk. Maybe there'll be one good thing in there, but a lot of time it's junk. So you spend so much money and so much time and so much stress storing junk that you don't even want at your own house. Like, you know what I mean? Like, think about it. For me, right now, I have a spare bedroom that is just filled with my stuff. I haven't looked at that stuff in years. It's probably been 4 years, if not more, since, because that was the last time that I moved, almost 5, since I looked at that stuff. 4, almost 5 years. Clearly, I don't need that stuff. Clearly, I don't value that stuff. So it's taking up an entire room in our house. For what? Like, there's no point. And that's something that I'm working on, is going through all that stuff and getting rid of it and decluttering, because it's just too stinking much. It's too much stuff. So that's what I'm currently working on. Hopefully, I've set a goal for myself that by January, I want to have my entire house decluttered. So that's what? This is October, November, December, January. So about 2.5 months. I have 2.5 months to completely declutter my entire house. And I think it's a fair goal. I'm not rushing myself. I do have 3 jobs, 1 full-time and 2 part-time jobs that I do. And I volunteer, and I'm an active part of my church. And, you know, I have friends and a social life. But I do want to get it done for my mental health, for my house. Like, wouldn't it be nice to just walk into your house and literally not have to clean, because every single thing is in its home and it's in its place, and the only thing you have to worry about is maybe dusting and vacuuming, instead of having to organize and then having to reorganize. And one of the things that I've really struggled with is, like, my mom makes fun of me. I'll clean, and so I'll go through everything and I'll end up moving it somewhere else. Like, maybe I'll go through all my clothes and I'll move them from this closet to this closet. Well, I really didn't clean and I really didn't organize. I just moved it. Moving it doesn't make it go away. One of the things that I read too was saying, you know, if you're cleaning your house more than 3 times a week, you have too much stuff. You should only have to clean your house once a week. Like, yeah, dishes every day and laundry and stuff like that, but you should only really have to clean your house once a week if everything is in its right place. And I know some of y'all are watching this going, what? That's pretty crazy. Think about, have you ever just had so much on your mind, and you were just like, were thinking and thinking and thinking and thinking, and you just had so much on your mind you couldn't shut your mind off? They say that the more stuff you have, the more anxiety you'll have. Like, that anxiety is linked to stuff. Isn't that crazy? So if you want to help your mental health and to help your overall health, I highly encourage you to get rid of everything in your home that you do not need. And hey, you could bless somebody else with it. Maybe there's a single mom that hasn't had new clothes in a long time. Maybe there is somebody at your church that really needs something. Maybe there are people in your life that could be blessed by your things that you no longer need. I actually thought the other day of, like, putting everything out in my yard and texting all my friends and being like, hey, come over and get whatever you want. Just to get rid of it. Granted, it would be a lot of work to, like, drag everything out. I just encourage you, even if it's just maybe 1 room a day, or maybe, like, I have boxes from when I moved. There's still stuff in, like, not the cardboard boxes, but the plastic boxes, like the storage. It's kind of like a big Tupperware container. I still have stuff in those boxes in the storage room. And so every day I go through 1 box, and little by little I'm getting rid of stuff. And it's not as overwhelming, because sometimes when you look at the mountain, it's very overwhelming. When you look at all of your stuff, it can be overwhelming and you can want to, like, cry. I've been there, especially after moving. Good night. And then you don't realize how much stuff you have until you have to move it all. And then you're like, whoa. And that's another thing. Like, okay, so I moved 6 times in 2 years between Ohio and Florida when I was going through one of the nightmares of my life when I was married and trying to work it out and going to counseling and then separated and then going to counseling and then separated and then going to counseling. And I would move with a U-Haul all the stinking way up to Ohio to try to work on my marriage and then all the way back when something bad happened. So it was overwhelming to go through all of those boxes because it brought up all those emotions and all those memories and all those things that I had been trying to avoid and trying to get rid of. And so I want to warn you, it may be emotional and it may be overwhelming, but it will also be therapeutic and it'll also be healing for you to go through that, for you to face, to kind of face it, to face the memories, to face everything that you're going through and to deal with it, like for once and for all, to just like be done with it and to get rid of it. So that's my encouragement. I highly, highly, highly encourage you to go through your stuff, get rid of everything that doesn't serve you, get rid of everything that you don't need, have a clear space and a clear mind. That's my encouragement. Get rid of one thing. Well, actually, they have a challenge where you get rid of one thing every day. So like October 1st, you get rid of one thing. October 2nd, you get rid of 2 things. October 3rd, you get rid of 3 things. October 4th, you get rid of 4 things. So you just go around your house and whatever date, today's the 10th. So I would go around my house and I would pick up stuff, from my house, and I'd pick up 10 things and I'd get rid of those 10 things. So that might be something fun for you to do. And I know you're like, no, today's not October 10th. It is when I'm recording this. So I don't record these and then post them the same day. I record them ahead of time and then I post them. So I am recording this on October 10th. And today I got rid of a whole lot more than 10 items. But maybe do that. Maybe every day, look at the date on the calendar, walk around your house, pick up that many items and then donate them. Do that. That'll be fun. I hope this encourages you. You are seen, you are celebrated, and you are loved. God has big plans for you. And a lot of those plans equal a clear headspace and a clean home. I love y'all. Catch you in the next one.